So today we're going to be looking at what is the right rake for the job. We've got 4 different rakes we're going to be looking at, and this is going to give you an idea of which one you need for the job around your yard. So first off, we're looking at what would be considered more of a traditional garden rake. This is from the Ames company, and this particular garden rake has the tines that we're all used to when we're out working in the garden, but it also has a back side for leveling just a little bit better and be able to kind of smooth the dirt out and such. And I'll show you how this works, but this is our first rake here, more of a garden rake. Our second rake we're going to be looking at is kind of a hybrid rake. It's going to allow us to do some things with leaves and getting some dirt and things leveled out if we needed to, but it'll also help us to get under some different bushes and things, and we'll look at that. It also comes with a secondary rake for getting into those bushes even a little bit more. This is from True Temper. A couple of different companies make these kind of hybrid rakes, and we'll look at that in our demonstration today. Our third rake we're going to be looking at is a traditional metal rake. Now this one is from Stake Rake, so it has a couple of features that our traditional metal rake doesn't have, but this is an option for those who are needing to get things dug out from under bushes and things. This is kind of designed for that, and we'll take a look at that and demonstrate how it works. And finally, the old, tried and true, the bamboo broom rake. There's nothing fancy about this. It's been around so long, it doesn't even have any labels on it. I don't know who made this particular one. This is one that's been in the shed for a number of years. So we're going to show you what each rake can do. Let's get to it. And our final rake we're going to look at is more of a garden rake. This is the one from Ames, which is a kind of a hybrid garden rake where it has the ability for the typical tine, and instead of having a flat back, it's got a little bit of a serrated edge here. So that's going to allow me to do my raking and leveling of soil, sand, dirt, what have you. I can rake back and forth. And then this back is just a little bit stronger, so I can use that, of course, to do a final leveling job. It's a little bit larger area, so if I'm going to be pushing that sand, I'll be able to push more sand instead of having just a thin bar here. And it's really going to be for the people who are out there wanting to do some garden work, be able to level an area off. This was tilled a few weeks back, so we can level it off nicely. And if it would be the right time of the year, we could have this ground ready to plant in just a few minutes. So looking at the plastic hybrid rake, it has a couple of different tines on this particular rake. Now there are different plastic that are reminiscent to the broom rake, but this one again is kind of that hybrid. So it's going to allow me to sweep along, nice, lightweight. It also has a couple of rows of tines, so I can get under some things. And be able to dig some of the different things out from under trees. Of course, as most rakes, they do get kind of plugged up a little bit with leaves, so that's, this is a little bit better than some, but they're still going to get a little bit of leaf damage and leaf collateral in the tines like that. And it doesn't quite clean as well as some, because if you look at the tines, that they're about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter apart. So you don't have quite as many tines in the area because these tines are offset, which would allow me to go at a little bit lower level, and I can really dig into the soil and actually do a little dethatching with this one because of these heavy-duty tines that are inset from the outside ones. Next, we're going to look at a metal rake, and we're going to be using the Stake Rake today. Now, the Stake Rake can give you a little bit of broom action for doing the yard. You can get some leaves and such. It's not as wide as our broom rakes, so you're going to be working a little bit harder. It's a little heavier than those bamboo rakes. Those are just so incredibly light, even the plastic versions. But it's going to be able to still do this job. Really where the metal rakes start to thrive is when we take it under bushes. The place where metal rakes really work the best is when you're trying to dig out from under bushes. And you're wanting to get that dead junk all pulled out from under there. The metal rake does a fabulous job of that. You just have to make sure you get it cleaned out. It can get under there, and you're not going to be breaking tines as you're getting into these heavy debris areas. So you can pull things out and have it nice and clean. Now, one cool feature about the Stake Rake is it has a stake. We just loosen this up, and there's a pin that pops down. You can see that little pin right here. This little pin will allow us to go stick that into the ground, and the rake will stand right there. So I won't be losing my rake in all the leaves, especially if there would be wind blowing. I could be out raking, the wind would lay the rake down to go in and grab a coffee, come back out, where's my rake? I can use the Stake Rake to put it into the ground, and I've got my rake ready to go for my next task. It's just a simple turn the handle and retract it, reset, and I'm back to raking in the yard. So for the broom rakes that you have, the bamboo, there's plastic versions and such. The best use for these, or the best job that they will give you the best results with, is the fall cleanup or the spring cleanup. When you have got a lot of leaves on the ground, or even some dry grass, and you need to kind of broom that along. I'll demonstrate how this works the best. Now you actually use this like you would a broom. It isn't a pull action like you would use a hoe or our garden rake. It's a brooming action where you're kind of sweeping the leaves and trash along, so it can pick up that loose trash very well, but it's not going to be able to dig down and pick up some of that embedded grass and different things that you might have after a season of the grass and thatch building up in your yard. So to recap on our test, if you're going to be working in sand or dirt, the garden rake is definitely the best for being able to level out sand, dirt, what have you. If you need it for doing some digging under bushes, it can do that. It just doesn't do it quite as well, and can do more damage to your bushes than a metal rake. Our plastic hybrid rake here will allow us to go and be a broom rake to clear the leaves and some of the grass clippings and such from our yard, and also be able to dig and do a little dethatching. With the attached tool, we can go and dig under obstacles and such to really get things cleaned out. So it's a great option. It kind of fits in between. A little bit heavier than our bamboo rake, but still lighter than our metal rake, and it'll help you to really clear a lot of leaves really quickly. Our metal rake, and this one is from Stake Rake, is something if you've got to get under a lot of bushes, you've got a lot of lilac, a row of lilacs and such, and you need to get the dead grass and such out, this is what you need. You need a metal rake that's going to be able to go in there, do its work, and yet the tines are flexible enough that they're not going to do a ton of damage to the lower parts of the bushes, which is really quite kind of important. If you have a rake that's solid metal, it's going to just scratch and such and could damage the bark. This won't. So in those applications where you're needing to dig out the leaves from last year from under the bushes, the metal rake is your best option. And finally, if you're looking for something inexpensive and you just need to move leaves and that's pretty much it, doesn't do very well with grass clippings, the old traditional bamboo rake is the way to go. They're inexpensive, lightweight, they're not very durable, they're not going to last forever. This one's been around for a long time because we don't use them very often. We use one of the other the plastic ones, which last a lot longer. But it's definitely an option for those of you who just want to move some leaves and bag them up and get them off your yard. So that's a look at the different types of rakes for the different jobs that are out there. If you've got any questions about what rake would work the best for your application, please put that in the comment section down below. If you've got a rake that you use that you absolutely love, please share that in the comments also, because I'd love to learn what you're using out there and what works really well for you. Once again, thank you for watching. I'm John Young with the Weekend Handyman.